Williams. Hey, Miss Williams. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Oh.
Girl, why you get a BBL to be a teacher?
Teacher Bay is the new art, Shelley.
Y'all, look at Miss Williams. Good morning, Miss Williams.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Today's price is not yesterday's price. Teacher Bay is the new
Miss Williams. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Oh.
Girl, why you get a BBL to be a teacher?
Teacher Bay is the new art, Shelley.
Y'all, look at Miss Williams. Good morning, Miss Williams.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Today's price is not yesterday's price. Hey, good morning. Call me while I get ready to go to work. So yes, of course, I'm still a teacher. Haha, still here. I'm going to deposit my money before I go to work because I don't want to leave money in my purse. However, I'm at the ATM. I came late this morning because I had to go to the doctor. And, I'm not going to really take pics because I got to get my hair done over. After I see my hairstyle too many times, I get tired of looking at the pictures. I'm not going to really take pics because I got to get my hair done over. After I see my hairstyle too many times, I get tired of looking at the pictures.
I'm sorry, this Teacher Bay lady is a whole bird. Hearing her talk is like listening to Young Miami. So yeah, the city girl Teacher Bay is back, doubling down. She's out here putting up videos of her popping her thought pocket and her BBL, talking about how everybody's just jealous of her and basically trying to rub in everybody's face that she's still a teacher.
Call me while I get ready to go to work. So yes, of course, I'm still a teacher. Haha, still here.
You heard her. She said, I'm still a teacher, I'm still here. Like, what in the baby bot bibbo babble is going on? And then she's trying to flex this little cash on TikTok, looking just like the alley cat I described in the first video.
All right, I'm going to say all praises be to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Wahawa Kakodash, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles over the Great Millstone Church, as well as the elder bishops and the rest of the elders in Akim. To you, Shalom. That are holding forth this true word for true life of the branches, of Great Millstone. So, peace and blessings to the elect. So, yeah, I'm just want to get into this. America it's just done, I watched this earlier and I figured, why not speak on it? This was just more of a telltale sign of how this place is done. It's completely finished. Nothing is as it was. Things are completely out of order. Let's go there. This is 2nd Ezra 14. 2nd Ezra 14. Let's start at 13. It says, Now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people and comfort such as them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption. So that's pretty much self-explanatory. So you come into this truth, you learn what's going on, you get yourself in order, get your household in order, get the mold out of your eyes to where you can actually see what's going on, man. You get taught that you have a mold in your eye. And what's the mold in your eye to where you can't see what's going on, And now you're able to see it, now tell somebody else about what's going on out here. Hence help get the mold out of their own eye, which is the point of renouncing corruption. And it's things like this that's going on that's completely out of order and that shouldn't be. But not the point. I'm going to jump down to verse 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Right, so things only going to get worse. You got dang Skrippa's teaching the kids now. This is crazy. It says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So as this world goes on, things make less sense. Things aren't as they used to be. Schools aren't running. For example, schools not going to be running how they used to run this whole, even though it's a full system. Esau full system is also going to perish. And you're going to get signs of these things, all right, as you see, in 1 Peter 4. But we know we're going to see this because Esau, being a so-called white man, so you can understand these so-called white people that rule everything. That has this whole system, this infrastructure going and set up. That all is written. They're written in the Bible to lose all of that. Come out of power. That world, this world that they have set up is written to end. Alluding to the book of Second Ezra 6 and 8. I want to say St. John 6, the 16th chapter, so forth and so on, man. And when you read right here, it says 1 Peter 4 and 7, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Then you got to be sober to see these things, man. Everything is ending from the way you once knew it. And again, going into Esau's full system, the so-called white man's full system, even though it was folly, and indoctrination for you to be a slave, a permanent slave and a fool to him anyway. It's not even it's not even orderly working anymore. Everything is just out of whack, man, completely. So let's go back to that second Ezra 14 and end that off. And it says, second Ezra 14 and 16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Yeah, as you see. So the fact you came into the fact you came into a system like this, a world like this to begin with, which is very evil, in times of us dealing with evil, us in our calamity, us being us so-called, us being us Hebrew Israelites, the true biblical Israelites, the true Jews, all right, so-called, who today are known as so-called and taught to be so-called, or go by the names such as so-called black people, African Americans, so-called Negroes, West Indians, Native American Indians, Latinos, so forth and so on. We've clearly been in our evils dealing with all this. We've been in a time of dealing with these evils, but now these evils are getting worse. These evils being in the schooling system that help perpetuate all of this madness. So I have to explain things like that, so-called this and the so-called that. Upon a bunch of racist, bugged out white supremacist, individuals, who are also lost themselves, working for the powers that be, the elite bankers who actually set up the full system, who controls the school system, all right, the Rockefellers. But nonetheless, it's actually becoming worse now, the same school system. Because now you don't just have so-called white supremacists, white lost so-called supremacists of all sorts, men and women, and when women ain't not even supposed to be usurping authority over men to begin with, But now you have it to where teachers are these same people. These same roles that were filled by these people are now being filled by scrippers, man. All right? Thoughts and strags and bugged out Eves. All right? To where it's like this. I'm going to hit play on this video a little bit longer.
The alley cat I described in the first video, like she just finished up a night of street walking, then stumbled on the steps of the schoolhouse building. But this time, before going into school, she had to deposit the money her customer gave her a few hours before while on the stroll, allegedly.
I'm going to deposit my money before I go to work because I don't want to leave money in my purse.
And that's her trying to flex her little money from that John of hers. Like, why is she showing this cash? And why is she talking about depositing cash before work? They don't pay teachers with cash. Give them more weight to the accusations of the alley cat city girl double life she's allegedly living. Remember, she already told the students today's price is not yesterday's price.
Y'all, look at Miss William. Good morning, Miss William.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Monday. Today's price is not yesterday's price.
That's what she's telling a female student, installing and programming into this girl's head. Yeah, she said today's price is not yesterday's price. The price? Like, what price are you talking about? And what exactly is being sold? This is who they have in front of black girls and black boys at these black schools. And these are the lessons they're being.
So yeah, man, it's this is completely bugged out. Okay, but again, it's just a telltale sign that again the end of all things is at hand. School is ending. This can't go on like this. You know, Esau's own system is falling before everyone's eyes, and we're seeing it. This is a sign of that. This is a precursor to that. Psalms 82, and let's start at 2. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Salah. You know, because as this thing just keep going on, it's just getting worse. That's why the Lord said, when you go to the book of Matthew, obviously he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved, but not even that one. He said if he didn't shorten the days, would no flesh be saved? All right, this is Matthew 24 and 22, and except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. The only ones that's gonna survive, you know, living in a crazy, mind-altering, you know, environment like this, to where you're able to develop it's to be on the earth like this. You the only ones that's gonna be able to make it through that will have to be God's elect, his chosen, of the chosen. All right. This is gonna take most Israelites, most so-called blacks, Negroes, West Indians, Native American Indians, Latinos out of there, man. Take them completely out the game. This is why so many people destroyed. Okay? Because nothing is going as it ought to be, as it was set to go. You know, going back to Psalms 82 and 2, it says, I'm going to start at 3, defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy, deliver the poor and needy. See that? So the Lord, it says, deliver the poor and needy. The poor and needy will obviously be the elect. Those that need to get out of here, man. Those that don't really got power, you know, to change this, you know, because they didn't set it up. They're subject to an infrastructure like this. It says, if you will, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. And this is what this is what is in the hands of the wicked. You know, this is what he has allowed to go on. This is what his works has allowed to become. His being a so-called white man, Esau, Edom, man. It says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. A lot of the elect sleep, in other words, you can understand. A lot of the little boys and little girls in them school systems right now. It says all the foundations, but that's why we're here, to renounce corruption. Everything's corrupting. Everything. It says all the foundations of the earth are out of course. All right? So the Lord, he going to change all this, man. It says, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. You're going to go down when this world go down, because you're going to be a byproduct of it, the majority of our people. They're not going to be able to make it out of this. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. You know, Lord going to grab all these people and put them under his subjection, once this so-called white man's world ends, which we completely got a sign of it, before us. I had one more scripture I'm trying to think of, but that was pretty much the point. 2 Ezra 14:16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen before shall be done hereafter. It's only going to get worse until this thing ends. If things are getting worse, they're constantly leaving the state they was just in. They're constantly corrupting, Things are getting old, washed out. People things are not as they once were. And that's why I read the Psalms 82. He says, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. For example, you had informed people that were put in position, for those in the world to be like a role model. You see what I'm saying? And now you got the role models, the people informing you, giving you game, hence the teachers being raggedy mouth Eves, loud mouth Keishas, Skrippas. You see what I'm saying? Like, when that's not even supposed to be no dang harlots, whores found amongst the daughters of Israel to begin with. So they just in general, the majority of our women are out of course. They're off the path that they were supposed to they were set on. And now they in whole nother position. Now they in whole nother positions, whole other places you ain't even supposed to find them. In those same turn, while being in those same turned out of the way mentalities or actions, So they're not being princesses simply anymore. They're being dang whores, harlots, and boss chicks or whatever, which is completely out of course, out of order. And now they they taking their tail and putting themselves in the schools of the realms of higher learning or whatever, in the so-called white man's world. When in his world, his realms of higher learning, you wouldn't ever find no one like that. At least not openly. But now it's open. Cardi B's and etc. the teachers. But anyway, man, it says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more, the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So it's clear that we ain't got too much longer, That was basically the point, There's one more scripture I want to get. Yeah. That's why the scripture say haste to flee from these times. So I'm going to get this scripture. It says, Isaiah 3:12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. See that? So the people that go on and become the oppressors, the individuals to where, the nation messed up, the communities is bad, are they're groomed to be that by women who ruling over them. So a lot of the little hooligans and GMO babies, however you want to call them, YNs, that's coming forth into the society, right? This world we subject to right now, they're being trained up in that by women. They're becoming that in these schools and things like that. And you can see it now, because look who's in the schools teaching them. It's becoming evident. Oh, my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy past. She said, remember, yesterday's price is not today's price. And it's just another manifestation that the Lord is gonna get these women, man. And he gonna get Esau. Eve gonna go right down with Esau, man. So-called white man, these so-called black women, dots, you city girls, wherever you want to call yourself, you're gonna go right down with the so-called white man. All right. So that's it, man. I'm gonna end it here. Isaiah 3:16 in the GNT. The Lord said, "Look how proud the women of Jerusalem are. They walk along with their noses in the air. They are always flirting. They take dainty little steps, and the bracelets on their ankles jingle. But I will punish them. Because in this society, they get rewarded. They get put and promoted because folly is set in great dignity. So when they're in their madness being a scripper, they get promoted from a scripper to a damn teacher. You know, now she a principal. But the Lord said, but I will punish them. So he said, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. To where Eve now, thinks that. And then when she becomes a teacher or a principal, even a dean in this world, she going to be teaching others that, It says, but I will punish them. And that's what's going to get you destroyed. Because that's how a lot of y'all think. And we see why now. But there's only so much longer this can go on. That's basically the point. He said, I will shave their heads and leave them bald. And that's exactly how it's going to be, man. All right? The Lord he going to destroy you. And he going to destroy this world, which all this is a clear indication of, this place don't got too much longer. So, Lord, when you got some out of this, I'm going to say all praise to you. How Bashim Yahweh Shah, Bashim Kakodash. Till next time, Shalom.
Price is not yesterday's price. The price? Like what price are you talking about? And what exactly is being sold? This is who they have in front of black girls and black boys at these black schools. And